Hello and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. On this episode, alright, well, a couple things, as I'm sure you've all noticed, did not get back to the grass crown, but, hey, part of the reason is because I have been having an absolute blast with table battles. Which I have been playing quite a bit and have had such a good time with that I actually designed my own scenario for the Battle of Heraclea, the first clash between the Romans and Pyrrhus of Epirus, which is posted on Board Game Geek on a thread there if you're interested. I'm also trying to do some scenarios also for Pyrrhus's other two big battles with the Romans, Esculum and Benevitum. So, still working on the details of that. And also casting an eye towards Frederick the Great because spent a lot of time in the ancient world and I think that's almost run its course for this time around. But I'm starting to swing towards Frederick. So, might take a look at that. I understand from Amabel Holland that there's going to be a expansion coming out, another expansion for table battles next year, and it's going to cover some battles of Frederick. So, for my fan-made ones, I'm going to go ahead and focus on the battles that are not obviously included. But I've been having a lot of fun with table battles. It's fast, it's furious. My kid loves rolling the dice. It's a good time. So, that's what I've been spending a lot of time on. But the reason I've come back to you now is because today, hot off the UPS truck, came my copy that I've been waiting for very anxiously. Oh, that's right. Absolute War. So, that came today from GMT Games. Mr. Carl at it again. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox this for you, show you what's inside, and at some point in the not too distant future, I hope to also get a playthrough video as well. So here we go. Here we go to the bad side of old Mother Russia. As Schnurrbart? That one character, Cross of Iron. He was quoted in the film when he was talking to Corporal Steiner, James Coburn character. Alright, literally taking the shrink wrap off right now, as I'm sure you can hear. There's a whole explanation about the picture on the front of the box if you're interested, also on Board Game Geek, the whole story behind it. And of course, there's the back of the box, looking pretty good. Nicely done. As you can see, the complexity is fairly low, of 4, and solitaire is 7. This comes with solitaire rules, I understand, at the end of the advanced booklet. There's a basic set of rules and an advanced one. So, as you can see, this is a huge box. It also comes with a bunch of scenarios too, including, of course, what's usually my favorite, Operation Barbarossa. If I can get the lid off. Whew, this is a thick box. GMT's been doing this a lot lately. There we go. Alright, first thing inside. We have the rules of play. Nice bright color there. As you can see, let me push that out of the way. You know, nowadays, of course, I think we've gotten to the point where we come to expect this sort of thing. With the rule books. So, and this is, no different here as far as that goes. So we have Absolute War there. Nice color for all the different unit symbols. Got some nice red boxes for important rules. Very cool. Nice headings, shading here. As well too, the blue stuff looks like designer notes, so very nicely done. There's some things, if you look at this, there's some elements that look like they're related to No Retreat Russian Front, which makes sense. And we got all this here. There's cards in this game. This game is diceless too, if I remember correctly from what I read. And my understanding too is the economic system is also unique. I will say that I noticed that Chris Farrell, who if you're a frequent visitor to BGG, you know the guy I'm talking about, who's usually very, I don't want to say harsh, but he's very thorough in his reviews. He's given this game already a high rating. So that says something. And his comment literally was about Carl being very innovative in things. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out. Because I've played dozens of East Front games, as you all know, because East Front is one of my wheelhouse areas. So, nice rulebook. Not too long. Got an example there of combat. There's the combat results. Alright. Pretty nice. Not a super long one. There does seem to be some sections with special markers and stuff. Kind of like, reminds me a little bit of the No Retreat rulebook, to be honest. Okay. Let's take a look here at the playbook for Absolute War. So here's the playbook. Again, actually 32 pages long. This is quite good, but it's quite nice. Look at this. Nicely done. Again, it reminds me a lot of No Retreat, the Russian Front. So we've got a nice diagram of the campaign setup. Got all information over here. And again, there's not a ton of pieces to this game. As you can see from the diagram, you can see there's just not a whole lot of units set up on the map. And then there's the scenarios. Here's Barbarossa, which of course is the one I'll probably play in the most time doing. There's Kursk. Oop, I must have missed a page then, because where's Case Blue? There's Barbarossa 5. No, I didn't. There's Kursk. Huh. There's Bagration. Stalingrad minigame. Interesting. Huh, that's not listed on the back of the box. At least not that I noticed. I will say that. Extended example of play. Always good to see. Very, very thorough. Nice diagrams. Arrows on them and everything. This looks really good. Whew. Alright. Very nice indeed. Cool. And of course back here, notes and dedication involving both the Soviet and German armies. Interesting. Here are the basic rules, which the basic rules are very basic. They're literally a pamphlet. But it does say here, I noticed, because I've skimmed over this rulebook already, it said about go read the regular rulebook up to page 7 before you tackle these basic rules. So you do want to do that. Because the basic rules seem to assume then that there's certain concepts you already have. But again, very basic, but again, nicely outlined. So I'll be curious to see that. We'll try that first, naturally. Alright, here's some player aid cards. On this side, we've got the theater game event, the Global War. Okay. Interesting. All the way up through 1945, including like Yalta, Vulcan, Husky, all those things that were going on. On the back side is a quick reference sheet showing important concepts, event cards, war initiative, movement, combat values, pincers. This will be interesting. This is different. I haven't really seen this concept. And this, if you notice from the example in the playbook, in the rulebook, this is an area map. So that'll also be kind of interesting too. I don't think I've played one. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I don't think so. Okay, and there's 2 of these. One for each player. Very cool. Then there's another card. The battle table results. Assault results. Combat sequence, all broken down. And on the back we have the terrain effects, which by the way, there's something about the mud. Again, I've been skimming threads. I haven't read them very carefully because I've been busy in the ancient world, so to speak. I've been thousands of years in the past. But definitely check that out. There's something about the weather table that needs to be looked at and adjusted, from what I understand. Okay, so again, we got 1 each for those. And here are the counters. This sheet here is our units. So let's zoom in on this here a little bit. So these are army-sized units, as you can see. So we've got 4th Army, 2nd Panzer Army, 1st Panzer Army. Same thing with the Soviets. Western Army, Southwest, 3rd Tank Army, Cav mechanized units. First Guard tank armies, very cool. Look like the usual nice, heavy counters from GMT, and of course nice and large. Then we have our second counter sheet, which is our informational markers, as you can see. Control markers, disrupted, the pinchers, pinces, if you will. Information there. Alright, and then let's see, we also have the cards, so let me go ahead and pop those open. And again, I had skimmed this rule book some time ago. I can't even sure how long ago I skimmed the rule book. So some of this I'm not remembering exactly with the rules, but here's some cards we could do. We could do a little bit more close up with those guys. So here's von Manstein, the operational guy. You can see here at the bottom there is the combat results bit. There's an event there. Other information about the years, maybe in von Kluge. This is the German deck. Counterblow, pacification campaign, modal, Hitler's fireman, Stalin's meddling. That's kind of redundant. Manpower shortage, Guderian. Oops, sorry. That's a little bit lower than I thought I had. Hedgehog positions. Gottman Uns, Tiger tanks for later on in the game. Rookie commanders. Surrounded Ivans. Where the iron crosses grow. Soviet C3I failures early on. There's Budeni I see in that picture. Alright, so the cards look nice. Seem to be nice stock. And of course, you know me, even though I'm sure we'll have to reorganize all these, but let's see. They shuffle well. I'll end up sleeving all this, who are we kidding? I end up sleeving almost all my games nowadays because it just makes it easier for me to shuffle, to be honest. It's easier for me to get a grip on the cards. So that's what I usually end up doing, to be quite frank and honest about it. It does make the deck thicker, and sometimes it can make shuffling itself a little bit trickier because the decks get kind of high and thick, but I'm okay with that. Alright, let's see. Then we've got Soviets here. We got fresh troops, scorched earth, naturally, mobilization plans, river bridgehead, infiltration assaults, Konyev, Vasilevsky, Stavka planning, of course, Maskirovka, heroes of the Soviet Union, Master Artillery, Rokokovsky, I always mess his name up. I always remember the story about him with Stalin, though, about the Stalin wanted to do one big blow around the time of Bagration, and Rokokovsky being like, 2 strong blows are better than 1 strong blow, and Stalin being like, why don't you go think about this a little bit more, and other people being like, you crazy, what are you doing? Talking back and talking to Stalin, just agree, man. So he went back in, and Stalin's like, so we've agreed. 1 strong blow is better than 2 weak blows, and Rokokovsky, the R-man, repeated himself, basically being like, 2 strong blows are better than 1. And of course everybody's like, oh my god, dead man walking, but Stalin conceded, but he also said it better work. Strategic reserves, Nazi realpolitik, interesting. Lend-Lease, which was critical to the war effort. Soviet tenacity, which is a bit redundant. Zhukov, Allied bombing, Stalin's organs. Okay, again, a very nice deck. Alright. So this all looks like the usual top-notch GMT quality that you would expect. And now, for the piece de resistance, the map. Let's see how this map looks. It's a mounted map. Give you a chance to all catch your breath. It doesn't really matter that much to me, but I know it matters to some. Okay. Whew. Alrighty. Let's see. Interesting. It's not a very big map. Not the kind of thing you would usually expect to see with a game like this. Let's see if I can come out a little bit more. There we go. But again, it reminds one very much of No Retreat. Up here at the top you have the calendar of events. You've got German boxes up here. You've got some tracks up here. You've got off-map boxes down here. Germany, Czechoslovakia. Interesting. Hungary, I guess that's when the Russians come back, right? You also have all these area spaces. This is interesting. You know, actually, this area map reminds me a little bit of the old SPI Napoleon 1812 game, which I got last year when I was into Napoleonics, and I really enjoyed. That was a really fun game. That was very cool. I'll have to get back to that at some point, and I'm sure I will. But you can see the area spaces here. Some of them are for cities, like Odessa and Minsk. Got the Pripyat, the primeval forest there. Got my Propetrovsk. Hopefully I got it right that time. So, all that. One thing I do want to point out, though, and let me see if I can zoom in on this well, that caught my attention whenever I was kind of looking at the files and such. Let's see. Where is it? Where is Smolensk? There's Moscow. Now I need to come this way a little bit. There's Kiev, Minsk, Kharkov. Okay, everything but there's Smolensk. Right there. If you can see, right here, there are symbols here for atrocities on the map. This is the Katyn massacre, where the Soviets killed all those Polish officers, among other military officers, among other folks. We're killing them literally right up until the moment the Germans came over the little ridge where they were shooting all these people and dumping them into the ground. That was interesting, and I guess I don't remember everything with what I skimmed on the rule book, but it has to do with the whole flow of the war. It has an impact on the game. Let's put it that way. That's because there's other ones over here too. If I come out some, you can also see over here on the German side, there's Treblinka, there's the Warsaw Ghetto as well too. So very, very, very interesting having those included on the map. But again, this is a very interesting map, area map. I'll be very curious to see how this plays. I'm anxious to get at it sometime in the not too distant future. All right, so there you go, out of the box for your consideration, not to sound like Rod Serling. That is Absolute War, the latest release from GMT Games and the latest East Front game as far as I'm aware at this point in time. Okay, so like I said, I do plan to do a playthrough of this and post it. I'm also looking at maybe doing a couple of table battles, maybe, because I did buy a couple of the expansions, and also I might just want to go ahead and show you all the scenario I made, because Pierce, I found Pierce very interesting. So that's also on the horizon as well. I can't say for sure which way I'm going to go first, but if I was betting money, you could probably expect to see a table battle before this, because I'll have to take a little bit of time to absorb this, go through it, look at the rules, look at the example of play. But I am very. This was, for those of you who watched my other videos, this is one of my most anticipated games of this year. So I'll be very curious to see how it plays out. Alright, so there you go. Out of the box, Absolute War. And this, of course, has been Tim Korchner from Bare Bones Wargaming, saying I will see y'all next time. Like I said, more than likely from somewhere in southern Italy, near the little village of Heraclea. Or perhaps, because I've been playing a lot of table battles with the Gettysburg expansion, I might see you from the fields there in that little slice of South Pennsylvania that has gone into lore and legend, shall we say. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.